Kia ora koutou katoa. This is a critical response in solidarity with the National Iwi Chairs Forum, which has withdrawn from the National Action Plan Against Racism. Now, the National Action Plan Against Racism was part of the 2017 recommendation to the New Zealand government by the United Nations Committee on the Elimination of Racial Discrimination, as well as a key recommendation of the Royal Commission of Inquiry into the Christchurch terrorist attack. The Tangata Whenua Caucus, and particularly the key representatives of the caucus that participated on the plan, pointed to the watering down of the focus on institutional and colonial racism in the plan as the reasons behind the decision to walk away from the National Action Plan. Tangata Whenua Caucus member and CARES activist in residence, Tina Nata, cited the Treaty Principles Bill, the Fast Track Approval Bill, ministerial marginalization of Te Reo Maori, and dismantling of several co-governance initiatives such as Maori Wards, the Maori Health Authority, and Te Mana o Te Wai as examples of the government's continuation of institutional and colonial racism. In response to the decision by the Iwi Chairs Forum to withdraw from the National Action Plan, Minister Paul Goldsmith referred to the importance of the action plan focusing on broader issues of racism that are experienced by all communities, pointed to the notion that the action plan should not just focus on treaty issues, but should include broader communities, including recent migrants. In this critical analysis, I will point to this use of discourse of fairness that refers to the need to address racism experienced by broader communities as a language device that is often used to perpetuate colonial power and control. The reference to all communities as a strategy for diluting the focus on treaty and on racism experienced by Maori as the imprints of colonial divide and rule strategies. Colonial divide and rule strategies, as we have talked about in earlier CARE conversations, often pit communities against each other, placing them in conflict with each other. So new migrants are placed in opposition to Maori. And in fact, we have seen ongoing disinformation campaigns, including disinformation campaigns that are tied to some of the political formations that are currently represented in government that have worked to place migrants in opposition to Maori. This kind of colonial divide and rule strategy works to obfuscate the colonial nature of the Crown infrastructure here in Aotearoa and simultaneously distracts from the colonial roots of racism here in Aotearoa. As our research here at CARE continually has documented, the experiences of racism by migrants, including by new migrants here in Aotearoa, stem from colonialism. Therefore, for us to effectively address racism experienced by migrants, including new migrants, it is critical that the colonial architecture of Aotearoa is fundamentally addressed. It is also critical that we continue to turn to Te Tiriti as the basis for addressing this racism, because Te Tiriti as a foundation offers the principles and the values that lie at the center of addressing racism. This critical response, therefore, is offered in solidarity with the ideas offered by the Iwi Chairs Forum that point to the importance of organizing communities. After all, responses to racism come from outside of government and institutional structures. effectiveness of anti-racist response often come from the mobilization of communities in everyday lives, in everyday contexts, in crafting solidarities between migrant communities, ethnic migrant communities, and tangata whenua, in building solutions that are anchored in community, solutions that are anchored in love, solutions that are anchored in care and in connection.